for joining us today for We Know Their Name.
My name is Aida Tufekcic, and today I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Mujo Hodžić, 24 years old. Mujo Hodžić, 43 years old. Mujo Hodžić, 44 years old. Mujo Hodžić, 55 years old. Mulaga Hodžić, 65 years old. Muriz Hodžić, 16 years old. Mustafa Hodžić, 28 years old. Mustafa Hodžić, 55 years old. Nedžad Hodžić, 21 years old. Nezir Hodžić, 26 years old. Nurif Hodžić, 54 years old. Omer Hodžić, 38 years old. Omer Hodžić, 69 years old. Osman Hodžić, 21 years old. Osmo Hodžić, 51 years old. Ragib Hodžić, 47 years old. Ramiz Hodžić, 34 years old. Rashid Hodžić, 46 years old. Rešid Hodžić, 24 years old. Rifet Hodžić, 57 years old. Sabahudin Hodžić, 23 years old. Sabahudin Hodžić, 30 years old. Shaban Hodžić, 18 years old. Sabit Hodžić, 33 years old. Sabit Hodžić, 37 years old. Šabo Hodžić, 57 years old. Šabo Hodžić, 59 years old. Safet Hodžić, 27 years old. Safet Hodžić, 27 years old. Safet Hodžić, 50 years old. Shahin Hodžić, 56 years old. Salcin Hodžić, 63 years old. Salih Hodžić, 55 years old. Salko Hodžić, 63 years old. Sedif Hodžić, 18 years old. Šefik Hodžić, 37 years old. Senaid Hodžić, 20 years old. Seifo Hodžić, 37 years old. Sinan Hodžić, 33 years old. Smail Hodžić, 37 years old. Smajo Hodžić, 30 years old. Suad Hodžić, unknown age of death. Suleiman Hodžić, 27 years old. Suleiman Hodžić, 38 years old. Uzeir Hodžić, 49 years old. Vahdet Hodžić, 27 years old. Vahidin Hodžić, 19 years old. Zaim Hodžić, 63 years old. Zuhriet Hodžić, 28 years old. Zulfo Hodžić, 56 years old. Naser Hotić, 34 years old. Samir Hotić, 29 years old. Sead Hotić, 56 years old. Sakib Hodžbo, 35 years old. Muhammad Hrbat, 35 years old. Elvir Hreljić, 18 years old. Ibrahim Hreljić, 37 years old. Osman Hreljić, 55 years old. Rudolf Hren, 35 years old. Abdullah Hrnić, 35 years old. Adem Hrnić, 41 years old. Asim Hrnić, 20 years old. Chamil Hrnić, 57 years old. Hasan Hrnić, 71 years old. Hasib Hrnić, 39 years old. Hussein Hrnić, 64 years old. Ibrahim Hrnić, 30 years old. Isak Hrnić, 31 years old. Izet Hrnić, 17 years old. Mehmed Hrnić, 67 years old. Mehmedalija Hrnić, 40 years old. Meho Hrnić, 43 years old. Muhidin Hrnić, 41 years old. Mustafa Hrnić, 26 years old. Nezir Hrnić, 57 years old. Ramiz Hrnić, 26 years old. Ramo Hrnić, unknown age at death. Razim Hrnić, 19 years old. Ređo Hrnić, 56 years old. Safet Hrnić, 33 years old. Salko Hrnić, 34 years old. Salko Hrnić, 44 years old. Sead Hrnić, 41 years old. Zaim Hrnić, 32 years old. Mehmed Hršić, 19 years old. Niyaz Hršić, 49 years old. Ahmo Hrustanović, 40 years old. Atif Hrustanović, 16 years old. Bego Hrustanović, 63 years old. Dahmo Hrustanović, 18 years old. Dahmo Hrustanović, 45 years old. Edin Hrustanović, 19 years old. Ešef Hrustanović, 32 years old. Hayrudin Hrustanović, 27 years old. Hazim Hrustanović, 23 years old. Huso Hrustanović, 57 years old. Huso Hrustanović, 59 years old. Ibro Hrustanović, 36 years old. Ismet Hrustanović, 56 years old. Mahmut Hrustanović, 56 years old.
My name is Aika Suljević. Today I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Meira Hrustanović, unknown age at death. Muhidin Hrustanović, 15 years old. Mustafa Hrustanović, 48 years old. Omer Hrustanović, 19 years old. Ramo Hrustanović, 45 years old. Rifet Hrustanović, 31 years old. Shamso Hrustanović, 41 years old. Tahir Hrustanović, 30 years old. Azem Hrustić, 36 years old. Aziz Hrustić, 39 years old. Basim Hrustić, 18 years old. Hasan Hrustić, 62 years old. Ibrahim Hrustić, 53 years old. Ibro Hrustić, 24 years old. Ismet Hrustić, 55 years old. Jakub Hrustić, 63 years old. Yasmin Hrustić, 17 years old. Mehmed Hrustić, 46 years old. Muhammed Hrustić, 49 years old. Mushka Hrustić, 79 years old. Mustafa Hrustić, 47 years old. Najib Hrustić, 49 years old. Omer Hrustić, 44 years old. Pashan Hrustić, 56 years old. Sabrija Hrustić, 30 years old. Sadet Hrustić, 22 years old. Sadudin Hrustić, 20 years old. Sead Hrustić, 28 years old. Samir Hrustić, 22 years old. Smail Hrustić, 35 years old. Abdullah Hrvačić, unknown age at death. Nairudin Hrvačić, 41 years old. Nejad Hrvačić, 28 years old. Nurko Hrvačić, 52 years old. Sabit Hrvačić, 34 years old. Hazim Hublić, 30 years old. Ibrahim Hublić, 61 years old. Meho Hublić, 68 years old. Salko Hublić, 42 years old. Teofik Hublić, 30 years old. Adem Hukić, 59 years old. Adem Hukić, unknown age at death. Ahmet Hukić, 42 years old. Ayvaz Hukić, 33 years old. Bahria Hukić, 25 years old. Bayazit Hukić, 21 years old. Bayro Hukić, 62 years old. Bego Hukić, 37 years old. Besim Hukić, 33 years old. Daut Hukić, 55 years old. Edhem Hukić, 19 years old. Elvedin Hukić, 17 years old. Gayabia Hukić, 41 years old. Haydin Hukić, 53 years old. Hayrudin Hukić, 51 years old. Hidayet Hukić, 25 years old. Hussein Hukić, 53 years old. Ibrahim Hukić, 33 years old. Idris Hukić, unknown age at death. Mehmedalia Hukić, 39 years old. Mevludin Hukic, 17 years old. Mirzat Hukic, 24 years old. Muja Hukic, 18 years old. Muja Hukic, 58 years old. Munir Hukic, 22 years old. Niyaz Hukic, 16 years old. Omer Hukic, 36 years old. Ramiz Hukic, 55 years old. Rashid Hukic, 30 years old. Ramzia Hukic, 50 years old. Rashid Hukic, 49 years old. Shaban Hukic, 57 years old. Sabit Hukic, 25 years old. Sadet Hukic, 18 years old. Said Hukic, 19 years old. Samir Hukic, 18 years old. Sead Hukic, 21 years old. Shecho Hukic, 61 years old. Senad Hukic, 26 years old. Sidik Hukic, 18 years old. Tahir Hukic, 42 years old. Zuhriya Hukic, 42 years old. Haira Hurem, 67 years old. Amir Huremovic, unknown age at death. Asim Huremovic, 57 years old. Enes Huremovic, 18 years old. Enes Huremovic, 40 years old. Fadil Huremovic, 27 years old. Fahrudin Huremovic, 41 years old. Ferid Huremovic, 20 years old. Fairudin Huremovic, 34 years old. Halid Huremovic, 20 years old. Hamed Huremovic, 69 years old. Hassan Huremovic, 51 years old. Hassan Huremovic, 51 years old. Hasib Huremovic, 22 years old. Hussein Huremovic, 37 years old. Ibra Huremovic, 41 years old. Izet Huremovic, 41 years old.
My name is Almedin Zulkic. Today I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Yusuf Huremovic, 57 years old. Kadrija Huremovic, 31 years old. Kadrija Huremovic, 33 years old. Medo Huremovic, unknown age at the date of death. Mehmet Huremovic, 49 years old. Mirsad Huremovic, 20 years old. Mujo Huremovic, 82 years old. Muradif Huremovic, 49 years old. Mustafa Huremovic, 18 years old. Najib Huremovic, 18 years old. Nezir Huremovic, 53 years old. Osman Huremovic, 29 years old. Osman Huremovic, 43 years old. Osman Huremovic, unknown age at the date of death. Ramo Huremovic, 26 years old. Rasim Huremovic, 47 years old. Sabrija Huremovic, 31 years old. Safet Huremovic, unknown age at the date of death. Samir Huremovic, 18 years old. Sheval Huremovic, 18 years old. Shevko Huremović, 39 years old. Shevko Huremović, unknown age at the date of death. Teofik Huremović, unknown age at the date of death. Velid Huremović, unknown age at death. Zanudin Huremović, 36 years old. Edin Hurić, 20 years old. Ibran Hurić, 58 years old. Ibro Hurić, 56 years old. Meho Hurić, 68 years old. Mevludin Hurić, 38 years old. Muhidin Hurić, 20 years old. Mujo Hurić, 22 years old. Omer Hurić, 27 years old. Ragib Hurić, 75 years old. Sulejman Hurić, 50 years old. Alija Huseinović, 60 years old. Alja Huseinović, 51 years old. Aziz Huseinović, 34 years old. Dževat Huseinović, 20 years old. Esad Huseinović, 31 years old. Halil Huseinović, 65 years old. Hasan Huseinović, 20 years old. Ibrahim Huseinović, 68 years old. Mehan Huseinović, 66 years old. Meho Huseinović, 24 years old. Mevludin Huseinović, 31 years old. Mirsad Huseinović, 20 years old. Mirsad Huseinović, 27 years old. Osman Huseinović, 30 years old. Ramiz Huseinović, 18 years old. Shahin Huseinović, 43 years old. Suad Huseinović, 34 years old. Sulja Huseinović, 25 years old. Velid Huseinović, 20 years old. Zihret Huseinović, 21 years old. Abid Huseinović, 30 years old. Adil Huseinović, 16 years old. Alija Huseinović, 39 years old. Avdo Huseinović, 57 years old. Bekir Huseinović, 58 years old. Bekir Huseinović, 33 years old. Emir Huseinović, 22 years old. Fadil Huseinović, 36 years old. Hussein Huseinović, 58 years old. Ibro Huseinović, 54 years old. Ismet Huseinović, 32 years old. Meho Huseinović, 45 years old. Mujo Huseinović, 38 years old. Omer Huseinović, 39 years old. Reshid Huseinović, 33 years old. Sadik Huseinović, 13 years old. Hasan Huseinagić, 54 years old. Recep Huseinagić, 54 years old. Haydar Huseinagić, 54 years old. Alija Huseinović, 45 years old. Amer Huseinović, 20 years old. Asim Husseinovic, 25 years old. Atif Husseinovic, 75 years old. Azem Husseinovic, 43 years old. Azim Husseinovic, 29 years old. Behrem Husseinovic, 56 years old. Bekir Husseinovic, 16 years old. Eyüp Husseinovic, 35 years old. Fadil Husseinovic, 16 years old. Feho Husseinovic, 47 years old. Hayruddin Husseinovic, 51 years old. Hassan Husseinovic, 40 years old. Hassan Husseinovic, 49 years old. Hashim Husseinovic, 58 years old. Huso Husseinovic, 35 years old. Hazim Husseinovic, 29 years old. Himzo Husseinovic, 53 years old. Hussein Husseinovic, 37 years old. Ibro Husseinovic, 43 years old. Idris Husseinovic, 23 years old. Ismet Husseinovic, 41 years old. Ismet Husseinovic, 48 years old. Izzet Husseinovic, 55 years old. Yunus Husseinovic, 68 years old. Kadria Husseinovic, 29 years old. Kemal Husseinovic, 53 years old.
My name is Indira Sultanic. Today, I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Kiram Husseinovic, unknown age at death. Mehmed Husseinovic, 71 years old. Mehmedalia Husseinovic, 48 years old. Meho Husseinovic, 29 years old. Meshan Husseinovic, 43 years old. Midhat Husseinovic, 32 years old. Muya Husseinovic, 37 years old. Munib Husseinovic, 28 years old. Munib Husseinovic, 52 years old. Munib Husseinovic, 53 years old. Muzafir Husseinovic, 69 years old. Nazif Husseinovic, 70 years old. Nejad Husseinovic, 22 years old. Nermin Husseinovic, 24 years old. Nusret Husseinovic, 23 years old. Omer Husseinovic, 59 years old. Osman Husseinovic, 51 years old. Ramiz Husseinovic, 40 years old. Ramo Husseinovic, 56 years old. Recep Husseinovic, 46 years old. Rizo Husseinovic, 40 years old. Sabit Husseinovic, 41 years old. Sadik Husseinovic, 18 years old. Sead Husseinovic, 20 years old. Said Husseinovic, 22 years old. Seydin Husseinovic, 34 years old. Selmo Husseinovic, 58 years old. Senahid Husseinovic, 18 years old. Velid Husseinovic, 43 years old. Abdurrahman Husic, 40 years old. Abid Husic, 67 years old. Adem Husic, 42 years old. Adil Husic, 22 years old. Ahmedin Husic, 16 years old. Ahmo Husic, 59 years old. Ahmo Husic, unknown age at death. Azem Husic, 34 years old. Aziz Husic, 29 years old. Bahria Husic, 55 years old. Bekir Husic, 25 years old. Behadil Husic, 54 years old. Behaya Husic, 25 years old. Behaya Husic, 45 years old. Dahmo Husic, 33 years old. Demir Husic, 51 years old. Edhem Husic, 39 years old. Enes Husic, 49 years old. Enver Husic, 18 years old. Esad Husic, 34 years old. Fadil Husic, 23 years old. Fadil Husic, 41 years old. Fadil Husic, 60 years old. Fadil Husic, unknown age of death. Fahrudin Husic, 20 years old. Faruk Husic, 19 years old. Fikret Husic, 21 years old. Hamed Husic, 60 years old. Hassan Husic, 64 years old. Hasib Husic, 45 years old. Hashim Husic, 35 years old. Hidayat Husic, 18 years old. Himza Husic, 36 years old. Hussein Husic, 41 years old. Idris Husic, 60 years old. Islam Husic, 39 years old. Ismet Husic, 50 years old. Izzet Husic, 52 years old. Yusuf Husic, 37 years old. Kadria Husic, 35 years old. Kemo Husic, 15 years old. Mehmed Husic, 51 years old. Mehmed Husic, 56 years old. Mehmedalia Husic, 40 years old. Meho Husic, 40 years old. Mevludin Husic, 23 years old. Mevludin Husic, 33 years old. Mirhat Husic, 20 years old. Mirzet Husic, 27 years old. Muhammad Husic, 16 years old. Muhammad Husic, 23 years old. Muhammad Husic, 43 years old. Muhammad Husic, 56 years old. Muhammad Husic, 60 years old. Muharrem Husic, 41 years old. Muya Husic, 24 years old. Muya Husic, 34 years old. Munib Husic, unknown age at death. Muradif Husic, 46 years old. Muradif Husic, 46 years old. Mustafa Husic, 21 years old. Mustafa Husic, 45 years old. Nurdin Husic, 21 years old. Ohran Husic, 51 years old. Omer Husic, 68 years old. Osman Husic, 53 years old. Osman Husic, 66 years old. Rahman Husic, 17 years old. Rahman Husic, 26 years old. Ramiz Husic, 52 years old. Ramo Husic, 39 years old.
Hello, my name is Azra Trail, and today I will be reading the names of 99 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Zahid Ibisevic, 21 years old. Zaim Ibisevic, 38 years old. Zulfo Ibisevic, 42 years old. Ismet Ibrahim Begovic, 43 years old. Muhammad Ibrahim Begovic, 41 years old. Ramiz Ibrahim Begovic, 45 years old. Abid Ibrahimovic, 47 years old. Abid Ibrahimovic, 57 years old. Abid Ibrahimovic, 68 years old. Adil Ibrahimovic, 33 years old. Admir Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Ahmedin Ibrahimovic, 22 years old. Ahmo Ibrahimovic, 49 years old. Asim Ibrahimovic, 54 years old. Avdia Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Azir Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Aziz Ibrahimovic, 17 years old. Azmin Ibrahimovic, 20 years old. Azmir Ibrahimovic, 20 years old. Bego Ibrahimovic, 28 years old. Bego Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Bekir Ibrahimovic, 15 years old. Daut Ibrahimovic, 54 years old. Zanan Ibrahimovic, 50 years old. Zemail Ibrahimovic, 31 years old. Zema Ibrahimovic, 18 years old. Zema Ibrahimovic, 45 years old. Ekrem Ibrahimovic, 34 years old. Ines Ibrahimovic, 29 years old. Enver Ibrahimovic, 43 years old. Fatima Ibrahimovic, 39 years old. Fatima Ibrahimovic, 71 years old. Hajdan Ibrahimovic, 33 years old. Hyra Ibrahimovic, 21 years old. Hamid Ibrahimovic, 34 years old. Hamid Ibrahimovic, 67 years old. Hamid Ibrahimovic, 37 years old. Hamid Ibrahimovic, 48 years old. Hamid Ibrahimovic, 59 years old. Hassan Ibrahimovic, 35 years old. Hassan Ibrahimovic, 57 years old. Hasib Ibrahimovic, 27 years old. Hasib Ibrahimovic, 49 years old. Hasso Ibrahimovic, 51 years old. Hazir Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Huso Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Ibrahim Ibrahimovic, 55 years old. Ibran Ibrahimovic, 18 years old. Ibro Ibrahimovic, 49 years old. Ibro Ibrahimovic, 54 years old. Ibro Ibrahimovic, unknown age at death. Idris Ibrahimovic, 50 years old. Yuso Ibrahimovic, 66 years old. Yusuf Ibrahimovic, 46 years old. Yusuf Ibrahimovic, 46 years old. Yusuf Ibrahimovic, 64 years old. Kadir Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Kamal Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Mehmed Ibrahimovic, 23 years old. Mehmed Ibrahimovic, 54 years old. Meho Ibrahimovic, 47 years old. Mensur Ibrahimovic, 22 years old. Mejo Ibrahimovic, 27 years old. Mevlid Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Mevlidin Ibrahimovic, 20 years old. Mevlidin Ibrahimovic, 26 years old. Mevlidin Ibrahimovic, 32 years old. Mevlidin Ibrahimovic, unknown age at death. Mirzet Ibrahimovic, 21 years old. Muhammad Ibrahimovic, 23 years old. Muhammad Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Muhammad Ibrahimovic, 59 years old. Muhammad Ibrahimovic, 65 years old. Muharrem Ibrahimovic, 42 years old. Muharrem Ibrahimovic, 44 years old. Muharrem Ibrahimovic, 48 years old. Mulyo Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Miska Ibrahimovic, 50 years old. Mustafa Ibrahimovic, 57 years old. Nazif Ibrahimovic, 18 years old. Nazif Ibrahimovic, 45 years old. Nazir Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Nedzad Ibrahimovic, 25 years old. Nazib Ibrahimovic, 37 years old. Nasiba Ibrahimovic, 25 years old. Niyaz Ibrahimovic, 23 years old. Nurdin Ibrahimovic, 32 years old. Omer Ibrahimovic, 25 years old. Omer Ibrahimovic, 40 years old. Omer Ibrahimovic, 55 years old. Osman Ibrahimovic, 32 years old. Osman Ibrahimovic, 49 years old. Osman Ibrahimovic, unknown age at death. Rahman Ibrahimovic, 26 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 25 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 33 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 46 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 62 years old. Ramo Ibrahimovic, 68 years old.
My name is Marisa Spahic. Today, I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Rashid Ibrahimovic, 41 years old. Rashid Ibrahimovic, 43 years old. Rashid Ibrahimovic, 44 years old. Razmin Ibrahimovic, 17 years old. Rashid Ibrahimovic, 30 years old. Rauf Ibrahimovic, 52 years old. Rauf Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Shaban Ibrahimovic, 22 years old. Shaban Ibrahimovic, 41 years old. Shaban Ibrahimovic, 47 years old. Shaban Ibrahimovic, unknown age at death. Sabir Ibrahimovic, 21 years old. Sabir Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Sadiq Ibrahimovic, 29 years old. Sadik Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Safet Ibrahimovic, 18 years old. Safet Ibrahimovic, 51 years old. Safet Ibrahimovic, 57 years old. Shaman Ibrahimovic, 50 years old. Saib Ibrahimovic, 24 years old. Saib Ibrahimovic, 25 years old. Saqib Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Saqib Ibrahimovic, 47 years old. Salchan Ibrahimovic, 66 years old. Salih Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Samir Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Samir Ibrahimovic, 20 years old. Shafik Ibrahimovic, 48 years old. Shamsul Ibrahimovic, 53 years old. Sanad Ibrahimovic, 15 years old. Sanad Ibrahimovic, 16 years old. Sanahid Ibrahimovic, 19 years old. Smail Ibrahimovic, 42 years old. Smail Ibrahimovic, 35 years old. Smail Ibrahimovic, 57 years old. Sulyo Ibrahimovic, 20 years old. Sulyo Ibrahimovic, 51 years old. Vadet Ibrahimovic, 28 years old. Zahid Ibrahimovic, 31 years old. Zahir Ibrahimovic, 33 years old. Amo Ibric, 39 years old. Alia Ibric, 48 years old. Almir Ibric, 20 years old. Janan Ibric, unknown age at death. Jamal Ibric, 42 years old. Edin Ibric, 18 years old. Habib Ibric, 57 years old. Hamdia Ibric, 29 years old. Hamed Ibric, 24 years old. Haris Ibric, 18 years old. Ismet Ibric, 51 years old. Mehan Ibric, 63 years old. Meho Ibric, 30 years old. Mevlid Ibric, 21 years old. Munib Ibric, 47 years old. Nejad Ibric, 18 years old. Niazia Ibric, 30 years old. Ramiz Ibric, 39 years old. Ramiz Ibric, 57 years old. Rifat Ibric, 27 years old. Shaban Ibric, 50 years old. Safet Ibric, 45 years old. Shaza Ibric, 73 years old. Smail Ibric, 42 years old. Vesid Ibric, 16 years old. Hassan Idrizovic, 18 years old. Abdurrahman Ikanovic, 42 years old. Amo Ikanovic, 42 years old. Aziz Ikanovic, 25 years old. Hedim Ikanovic, 51 years old. Ilyas Ikanovic, 34 years old. Kemal Ikanovic, unknown age at death. Mirelam Ikanovic, 28 years old. Musa Ikanovic, 20 years old. Nezir Ikanovic, unknown age at death. Omer Ikanovich, 42 years old. Raman Ikanovich, 52 years old. Refik Ikanovich, 28 years old. Rifat Ikanovich, 54 years old. Shaban Ikanovich, 35 years old. Salih Ikanovich, 49 years old. Salko Ikanovich, unknown age at death. Sinan Ikanovich, 44 years old. Zudia Ikanovich, 71 years old. Amir Imamovich, 19 years old. Amir Imamovich, 39 years old. Yusuf Imamovich, 43 years old. Muhammad Imamovich, 24 years old. Nevzat Imamovich, 19 years old. Omer Imamovich, 55 years old. Safet Imamovich, 39 years old. Salih Imamovich, 52 years old. Shevket Imamovich, 37 years old. Zaim Imamovich, 21 years old. Zayad Imamovich, 19 years old. Faruk Imir, 45 years old. Bahaya Imshirovich, 27 years old. Jamal Imshirovich, 32 years old. Fahruddin Imshirovich, 18 years old. Hasso Imshirovich, 49 years old.
My name is Erna Alic, and I will be reading the names of 99 victims who were murdered in the genocide in Srebrenica. Imshir Imshirovich, 52 years old. Yasmin Imshirovich, 19 years old. Yusuf Imshirovich, 34 years old. Mansour Imshirovich, 30 years old. Mirsad Imshirovich, 20 years old. Muharrem Imshirovich, 34 years old. Munib Imshirovich, 25 years old. Osman Imshirovich, 40 years old. Rahman Imshirovich, 75 years old. Rama Imshirovich, 16 years old. Rama Imshirovich, 54 years old. Asim Isakovich, 20 years old. Azam Isakovich, 39 years old. Biber Isakovich, unknown age at death. Jema Isakovich, 34 years old. Fahruddin Isakovich, 20 years old. Fahruddin Isakovich, 22 years old. Hakia Isakovich, 78 years old. Hasib Isakovich, 53 years old. Hasa Isakovich, 43 years old. Izet Isakovich, 27 years old. Qasim Isakovich, 22 years old. Mehmedalia Isakovich, 20 years old. Memish Isakovich, 23 years old. Mevludin Isakovich, 22 years old. Nihad Isakovich, 22 years old. Rahman Isakovich, 55 years old. Rasim Isakovich, 20 years old. Rifat Isakovich, 60 years old. Sabahuddin Isakovich, 25 years old. Sadiq Isakovich, 21 years old. Safet Isakovich, 23 years old. Safet Isakovich, 29 years old. Shahin Isakovich, 54 years old. Salchin Isakovich, 66 years old. Senad Isakovich, 18 years old. Sinan Isakovich, 28 years old. Sulya Isakovich, 20 years old. Ekrem Izmirlich, 32 years old. Hasib Izmirlich, 32 years old. Hashim Izmirlich, 39 years old. Ismet Izmirlich, 57 years old. Shaha Izmirlich, unknown age at death. Abdullah Yahich, 62 years old. Adam Yahich, 70 years old. Ahmed Yahich, 22 years old. Ahma Yahich, 61 years old. Alia Yahich, 17 years old. Alia Yahich, 40 years old. Almir Yahich, 19 years old. Azam Yahich, 26 years old. Azam Yahich, 44 years old. Behria Yahich, 67 years old. Bayro Yahich, 17 years old. Bida Yahich, 62 years old. Jamal Yahich, 32 years old. Ayub Yahich, 50 years old. Ekrem Yahich, 31 years old. Enver Yahich, 18 years old. Asad Yahich, 41 years old. Fahim Yahich, 37 years old. Fikret Yahich, 31 years old. Hamid Yahich, 47 years old. Hasib Yahich, 39 years old. Hasib Yahich, 51 years old. Hedin Yahich, 20 years old. Hussein Yahich, 55 years old. Ibra Yahich, 40 years old. Idris Yahich, 41 years old. Ifet Yahich, 28 years old. Ismet Yahich, 59 years old. Izzet Yahich, 38 years old. Yasmin Yahich, 22 years old. Meda Yahich, 36 years old. Mehmed Yahich, 60 years old. Mevlad Yahich, 15 years old. Mevludin Yahich, 17 years old. Mevludin Yahich, 34 years old. Mevludin Yahich, unknown age at death. Mirsad Yahich, unknown age at death. Muhammad Yahich, 20 years old. Muhammad Yahich, 21 years old. Najad Yahich, 24 years old. Nihad Yahich, 18 years old. Nurif Yahich, 57 years old. Nusrat Yahich, 22 years old. Omer Yahich, 42 years old. Omer Yahich, unknown age at death. Osman Yahich, 22 years old. Osman Yahich, 60 years old. Ragib Yahich, 44 years old. Rama Yahich, 49 years old. Rasim Yahic, 18 years old. Reja Yahic, 60 years old. Refik Yahic, 20 years old. Rashid Yahic, 36 years old. Rifet Yahic, 33 years old.
My name is Azra. Today I will be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide in Srebrenica. Shaban Yahic, 31 years old. Shaban Yahic, 52 years old. Sadia Yahic, 34 years old. Sadudin Yahic, 26 years old. Saib Yahic, 35 years old. Sakib Yahic, 23 years old. Sakib Yahic, unknown age of death. Salih Yahic, 24 years old. Salko Yahic, 58 years old. Sead Yahic, 19 years old. Sead Yahic, 34 years old. Seidalia Yahic, 29 years old. Suljo Yahic, 62 years old. Vehbija Yahic, 58 years old. Vehbija Yahic, 74 years old. Adib Jakubovic, 59 years old. Azmir Jakubovic, 58 years old. Bego Jakubovic, 26 years old. Ethem Jakubovic, 45 years old. Ekrem Jakubovic, 40 years old. Enver Jakubovic, 22 years old. Esad Jakubovic, 50 years old. Esed Jakubovic, 45 years old. Fazlija Jakubovic, 40 years old. Fikret Jakubovic, 27 years old. Hayrudin Jakubovic, 37 years old. Hasan Jakubovic, 17 years old. Ismet Jakubovic, 48 years old. Jakub Jakubovic, 16 years old. Mehmet Jakubovic, 21 years old. Mucin Jakubovic, 42 years old. Mustafa Jakubovic, 43 years old. Nezir Jakubovic, 50 years old. Saadet Jakubovic, 21 years old. Sakib Jakubovic, 33 years old. Vehbija Jakubovic, 61 years old. Zikret Jakubovic, 18 years old. Nurko Jamakovic, 54 years old. Ahmet Jasharevic, 24 years old. Ahmet Jasharevic, 45 years old. Asim Jasharevic, 36 years old. Avdo Jasharevic, 31 years old. Avdo Jasharevic, 66-year-old. Bajro Jasharevic, 53 years old. Bekir Jasharevic, 35 years old. Damir Jasharevic, 19 years old. Džemil Jasharevic, 40 years old. Esad Jasharevic, 36 years old. Fikret Jasharevic, 20 years old. Fikret Jasharevic, 25 years old. Halil Jasharevic, 51 years old. Hamid Jasharevic, 50 years old. Hazim Jasharevic, 26 years old. Hussein Jasharevic, 59 years old. Huso Jasharevic, 62 years old. Ibran Jasharevic, 30 years old. Ibro Jasharevic, 43 years old. Izudin Jasharevic, 18 years old. Kadrija Jasharevic, 55 years old. Mehmed Jasharevic, 31 years old. Mehmed Jasharevic, 38 years old. Meho Jasharevic, 60 years old. Muhammad Jasharevic, 20 years old. Muhammad Jasharevic, 25 years old. Mustafa Jasharevic, 53 years old. Osman Jasharevic, 48 years old. Osman Yasharevic, 59 years old. Osmo Yasharevic, 24 years old. Sadia Yasharevic, unknown age at that. Sakib Yasharevic, 35 years old. Salih Yasharevic, 57 years old. Nusret Yashic, 20 years old. Shefik Yashic, 25 years old. Ibrahim Jelkic, 59 years old. Hazim Johic, 17 years old. Ragib Johic, 44 years old. Sulja Johic, 67 years old. Adem Jugovic, 22 years old. Bego Jugovic, 45 years old. Chamil Jugovic, 60 years old. Edib Jugovic, 19 years old. Fatima Jugovic, 65 years old. Fikret Jugovic, 32 years old. Hamed Jugovic, 53 years old. Mehmed Jugovic, 40 years old. Mehmedalia Jugovic, 35 years old. Meho Jugovic, 45 years old. Ramo Jugovic, 34 years old. Sadudin Jugovic, 26 years old. Shemsudin Jugovic, 27 years old. Shevko Jugovic, 29 years old. Suad Jugovic, 18 years old. Mehmedalia Jukic, 24 years old. Alija Juzunagic, 48 years old. Hasan Juzunagic, 39 years old. Hussein Juzunagic, 39 years old. Mirza Juzunagic, 20 years old. Mehmed Juzunovic, 63 years old. Omer Juzunovic, 36 years old. Shaban Juzunovic, 47 years old.
My name is Phil Dan. Today I'll be reading the names of 100 victims who were murdered during the genocide of Srebrenica. Sukrija Janozovic, 30 years old. Suljo Janozovic, 63 years old. Abdru Haman Jusic, 58 years old. Abid Jusic, 56 years old. Adam Jusic, 20 years old. Amo Jusic, 17 years old. Amo Jusic, 66 years old. Avdo Jusic, 37 years old. Avdo Jusic, 40 years old. Azem Jusic, 38 years old. Azmir Jusic, 21 years old. Bajro Jusic, 23 years old. Bego Jusic, 43 years old. Damir Jusic, 18 years old. Desmail Jusic, 31 years old. Desmal Jusic, 18 years old. Desmal Jusic, 22 years old. Desmal Jusic, 51 years old. Desmo Jusic, 24 years old. Desved Jusic, 21 years old. Desved Jusic, 23 years old. Enes Jusic, 61 years old. Esad Jusic, 23 years old. Esad Jusic, 26 years old. Fadil Jusic, 35 years old. Fadil Jusic, 40 years old. Farudin Jusic, 22 years old. Fashko Jusic, 56 years old. Habib Jusic, 51 years old. Hajrudin Jusic, 18 years old. Hajrullah Jusic, 45 years old. Hakija Jusic, 31 years old. Hakija Jusic, 60 years old. Hamdija Jusic, 20 years old. Hamed Jusic, 33 years old. Hazib Jusic, 53 years old. Hussein Jusic, 27 years old. Huso Jusic, 68 years old. Ibro Jusic, 18 years old. Yuso Jusic, 43 years old. Yusuf Jusic, 46 years old. Yusuf Jusic, 54 years old. Kadrija Jusic, 35 years old. Mehmed Jusic, 47 years old. Meho Jusic, 48 years old. Mujo Jusic, 44 years old. Munib Jusic, 33 years old. Munib Jusic, 54 years old. Munir Jusic, 23 years old. Moriz Jusic, 24 years old. Mustafa Jusic, 23 years old. Nasib Jusic, 33 years old. Nirija Jusic, 54 years old. Nusret Jusic, 43 years old. Ramo Jusic, 22 years old. Ramo Jusic, 43 years old. Ramo Jusic, 43 years old. Rifet Jusic, 27 years old. Sabit Jusic, 25 years old. Sadiq Jusic, 28 years old. Sakib Jusic, 39 years old. Seed Jusic, 27 years old. Sijidin Jusic, 56 years old. Sijidin Jusic, 58 years old. Senad Jusic, 16 years old. Senad Jusic, 20 years old. Suleiman Jusic, 18 years old. Vahid Jusic, 20 years old. Zahir Jusic, 65 years old. Siad Jusic, 24 years old. Siad Jusic, 26 years old. Amo Jusevic, 57 years old. Kamil Jusevic, 21 years old. Elvir Jusevic, 16 years old. Fadil Jusevic, 38 years old. Fahir Jusevic, 19 years old. Himzo Jusevic, 52 years old. Himzo Jusevic, 55 years old. Yuso Jusevic, 41 years old. Yusuf Jusevic, 49 years old. Mehmed Jusevic, 33 years old. Meho Jusevic, 47 years old. Mustafa Jusevic, 45 years old. Nurija Jusevic, 37 years old. Ramiz Jusevic, 34 years old. Sadiq Jusevic, 41 years old. Sadiq Jusevic, 34 years old. Safit Jusevic, 29 years old. Salkin Jusevic, 58 years old. Siad Jusevic, 21 years old. Suleiman Jusevic, 47 years old. Suvad Jusevic, 45 years old. Saim Jusevic, 21 years old. Advo Jusupovic, 19 years old. Advo Jusupovic, 53 years old. Dezamal Jusupovic, 21 years old. Hassan Jusupovic, 56 years old. Himzo Jusupovic, 46 years old. Ibrahim Jusupovic, 33 years old. Yasmin Jusupovic, 17 years old.